Caution: the following video may contain offensive content. Viewer discretion is advised, especially among children, family members, and future employers. Enjoy.
To those who know me well, it's no secret that I have an undying love for the Half-Life series. Zombies, Combine, badass weapons, great story elements, and Gordon Freeman. I absolutely love the Half-Life games. I've even tossed around the idea of getting a Half-Life tattoo one day. However, this love for Valve's star title all traces back to an experience from my childhood. I first played Half-Life at my sister's house on her family computer when I was about 7 years old. Her uncle was a tech guy of sorts and always had the latest game demos on their PC. I spent most of my time playing Half-Life Uplink. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what did it, but I fell in love. Years later, I found a used copy of Half-Life for the PlayStation 2. I bought it and found out that the demo I had played in 2nd grade was not simply just the first 2 levels of the game like most demos, but instead had its own standalone plot. It wasn't until about 2 years ago that I was able to find Half-Life Uplink again. It was made available to me through a service called Steam Link that configures the demo into a downloadable mod for Half-Life 1. The goal was to recreate an experience that gamers such as myself have been without for a very long time. When I first learned of this, I basically had a happiness seizure. So now, after 12 years, my Half-Life fandom has come full circle, and I'm about to play Half-Life Uplink for the first time since 3rd grade.
Open up the reactor complex so we can get down to safety.
I'm sorry.
Well, this isn't right. The textures have been upgraded or something. These aren't the original Half-Life Uplink graphics from 1999. I was seriously about to freak out. I wanted to play Half-Life Uplink as it was originally released in 1999. While I love Steam updates, sometimes Valve is guilty of George Lucas syndrome, making slight changes and updates that alters the original piece. However, rummaging around in the options menu, I found a checkbox to enable HD models. So with just a click, I unchecked the box so I would be able to enjoy the original Half-Life Uplink graphics. Alright, yeah, here we go. Just look at these turn of the millennium graphics. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. So as I said earlier, Half-Life Uplink's storyline is separate from the actual game. Gordon finds himself outside the Lambda reactor complex 48 hours after the containment failure, rather than being present from the beginning of the resonance cascade. He walks into a scientist and a security guard having a frantic conversation. They need to get into the reactor complex for safety, but the doors won't open until an all-clear signal is emitted. Unfortunately, the military's aerial bombardment of the research facility has severed communications to the satellite relay, so the uplink has to be made by hand. But the transmitter dome is full of radiation, and as the scientist puts it,
Nobody but a fool would go in there.
What about this guy?
what a dick. No, actually, they reason that Gordon would be the most fitting for the job because of the hazardous environment suit he's wearing. So they send me up on an elevator and on my merry way. This is where the nostalgia sets in. Man, oh man. This is probably the most nostalgic level I have ever played. Where do I even start with this? Firstly, the red glow from the emergency lights just gives this unforgettable presence. You just know that things are not as they should be, that there is danger nearby, but you're just not sure what it is. And of course, picking up the crowbar for the first time. This right here was the first time I donned the iconic crowbar that would become the staple of the Half-Life games. One word: epic. And how about that soda machine? I remember this bad boy. You can get yourself a soda worth 1 point of health. Pretty handy if you're a little low. Just spam the machine. It takes a while, but in time you'll probably have about 10 to 15 more health points. But what I remember most is you can seriously mess this thing up with a couple crowbar swings. At first it spurts out a stream of soda cans, but watch your ass because it'll blow up and fall on top of you. I wouldn't make a big deal about this, but this actually doesn't happen in the actual game. What's next? Boxes! Smash that shit, yo! And around the corner we have some head crabs lurking in the shadows. Our first encounter with hostile life forms. These frog-like creatures are almost as iconic as the crowbar. And seeing them jump out of the shadows in the darkness right here just gives me chills. You have to remember that this is a truly amazing opportunity for me. While I've played the beginning level of Half-Life like 600 times, I haven't played Uplink since I was about 8 years old, so please forgive my long explanations. We come across another security guard helping to fight off the intruding alien creatures.
Bet you're glad I got this old sidearm on me, aren't you? Don't make me do that.
Time to die! Ah, shit. Normally I don't kill the guards, but as a kid I found attacking teammates funny. My first time being a douchebag. However, when you actually do kill them, you genuinely feel bad about yourself. That look on his face. This right here is what nightmares are made of. Let's just get rid of that body. Awesome. Alright, let's continue down the hall. See that gas tank thing? That should even the odds a little bit. Oh, one left. Hell yeah, did you see that? I shot it midair and it just flopped dead on the floor. I'm like a cowboy. Now comes the part that made me realize I was in the big leagues. The part of the game that said, "This ain't Lego Island, kid." Oh, shit! You see that? What the fuck? What is that? Yeah. Now, I am all too familiar with this beautiful creature, but my 7-year-old balls dropped the second I saw the head crab zombie. Just minding your own business when this guy smashes through the large wooden crate and shambles towards you with his foot-long mutated claws. But honestly, from the get-go, I thought it was fucking awesome. And somehow, with my childlike mind, I knew that this monster was once human. And what an amazing concept. A parasitic alien crab creature that latches onto your cranium and mutates your corpse into this abomination. With its claws, its cracked open rib cage, the faint impression of its once human skull, and that gut-wrenching sound it makes. Let's just soak this in for a second. Just look at this guy. Ah! If you can't tell by now, I'm not playing this game to my full potential. On most of my playthroughs as a kid, this was about as far as I got, so I'm really in no rush. I like taking my time. Each death means a little longer I can spend basking in the nostalgic moment of video game perfection. I'm telling you, this series of hallways is where my love for this game was conceived. Alright, I would be doing you guys an injustice if I didn't show you the rest of the demo. After all, I actually did beat it as a kid. Once you take out the zombie, you shoot the laser trip mines and blow up the barrier to continue to a loading dock. There, you're met with military opposition. If you don't know the story of Half-Life, after all hell broke loose in Black Mesa, the military was called in to wipe out both alien and civilian alike to contain the breakout. So I shoot these guys and then use a crane to gain access to the other side of the fence. Now I must navigate through a maze of storage crates and battle more military grunts. This is when Gordon Freeman goes from theoretical physicist to John Rambo. For Black Mesa, motherfuckers! Oh shit, you see him? I'll be back for you, my scientist colleague. Aw, damn it, he's dead. Hey, come down and fight me like a man, you pansy. Yeah. So continuing on, I find a pit of burning Vortigaunts. This is an enemy we have not yet encountered, so seeing a glimpse of another enemy creature to come is pretty badass. I find 2 grunts in front of a blast door and wipe them out with a blast from a shotgun. Which is disappointing because I could have taken them out with the TNT. Damn it. The professor comes in over the intercom and lets me into the transmitter dome. As he said earlier, it's radiated with some green liquid that actually isn't really explained in any of the games, but the Geiger counter built into Gordon's suit starts ticking away to let us know it's hazardous. I take the lift up to the top of the tower where I receive further instructions from Dr. Kleiner.
Freeman, you'll want to work quickly. Tune the transmitter to the USNRC. I repeat, tune to the USNRC.
So I tune the satellite to the UNSRC as he requests, and then the military comes to crash the party. Some badass music ensues and Gordon makes his way deeper into the facility. Take that, you bastards. Holy shit. That is awesome. Oh shit, another one. It's these types of in-game scenarios that really add to the suspense in the story. Navigating through a dark sewer, battling aliens, zombies, and the military is badass enough. But when you see soldiers being pulled to their death by alien barnacles or their corpses being dragged by zombies, it makes it that much more realistic. This is what survival shooters are made of, ladies and gentlemen. Back in the day, Half-Life was a real game changer. I mean, look at this. Gordon successfully navigates through the dark sewer and back into the shipyard, where the military are already engaged in another battle. Seeing the Vortigaunts for the first time was pretty badass too. These enslaved aliens fight primarily with a charged beam of energy, But not only is it awesome to have a new enemy introduced, it's awesome to see that there's a conflict bigger than just Freeman in the military. Coming into an already engaged battle is a plot device that Valve continually uses throughout the Half-Life games. It effectively shows that all hell really has broken loose, and it's on a much larger scale than everyone thinks. So we navigate back up to the Lambda reactor complex, which is now open.
Is someone there? I can't see a thing.
Huh. That's a little dark. Let's try to save him. Oh. Professor? You alright? Professor? Well, he's not okay now. So continuing on, we come across some hound eyes that lead you into a beginner's trap. Look at that shit! My body flew across the room. There's no way to dodge that unless you know it's coming. You cheap bastards! Alright, let's try this again. Take that, you zombie bitch! We cap another zombie, some head crabs, and then find ourselves crawling through an air duct. But hear that sound? Something's not right here. And then we see it. A glimpse of the Gargantua through a crack in the concrete wall. This big guy means business. Then Gordon begins sneaking through another ventilation shaft when it falls through. This right here is extremely badass. You're literally dropped into the danger. You watch as a fellow scientist and security guard are massacred by this big brute. Absolutely helpless. There's nothing you can do either. Before you know it, he's coming your way. But just as you think you're about to die, the screen fades, and the message appears. Uplink complete. That is how you end a demo, my friends. Does that make you want to buy the game or what? Believe it or not, it was actually a little more dramatic when I was a kid beating this. I wasn't very skilled, so by the time I got to the Gargantua, I had completely used up all my ammo. The only weapon I had available was the crowbar. And I thought, oh my god, there's no way in hell I'm gonna take this thing down with just a crowbar. And then, the screen just fades. I didn't know what was going on. I had help from the neighbor boy off and on when I was playing this. So when the screen faded, I actually called him and had him come over. He told me I beat the game. I wasn't used to beating video games as a kid, so when the screen went black, I thought something was wrong. I thought I broke it. Yeah, it was just a demo, but it was pretty badass to an 8-year-old. So what's the conclusion? After 12 years, this game is still extremely awesome. It gives me a feeling of nostalgia that not many other video games can reproduce. I could probably go on for another 6 or 7 hours talking about how perfect Uplink is and the intense feelings of comfort I get when playing it. But this video is already a little long and I have to restrain myself. So, if you're a Half-Life fan and you haven't played Uplink, you probably should. Well, that does it for this humble retrospective. I'm Dalton the Humble Gamer. Stay humble and keep gaming. Thanks for watching.